All right, people, what the hell is going on while I adjust my camera? What are we gonna do today? We're gonna talk about some dating stuff. It's fun, huh? What I want to talk about today, I got a rolling chair. What we're gonna talk about today with dating is, first of all, about me. I don't approach women. Never have. And at this point, I never will. I'll be 48 in a couple of weeks. If I ain't start approaching women by now, it ain't for the fucking happen. I know how to talk to chicks. I can talk a bitch out of drawers, but I'm not fit to go at this shit. Women, I got to do a bunch of that online, with the online dating thing and stuff like that. Me being a man, I have to send messages and blah, blah, blah. I'm just speaking to motherfuckers, you get some rude ass shit. And I don't chase. Once I get into a conversation with somebody, I go by the golden rule. You treat people how you want to be treated. And if you don't want to talk to somebody, just don't talk to somebody. Just because you get a message don't mean you have to fucking reply. You know what I'm saying? You can just peace out. Don't halfway talk to somebody where you get that one word reply bullshit going on. And don't nobody like that. Women don't like it. Men don't like it. Don't nobody want to sit there and make a statement or say something to somebody and all you get is, I see. Oh, I understand. Oh, okay. Okay. No, you get the fuck up out my goddamn feed with that shit. Don't nobody want that. If you one of those people, and I had somebody hop in my inbox one time because that is in my profile. She said, I'm one of those type of people, so I might not be a match for you. And I'm like, well, move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Why are you on a dating app knowing you're not gonna talk to somebody? Because I'm like, you just sent me a whole statement saying that you don't do that. That's what you do. You one of those short people. That's a choice you made. And I told her that too. I said, well, that's a choice you made. Whatever. I don't force anything. I mean, if I gotta sit there and it seems like I'm talking to myself, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. If you get a message first, the broad is either retarded or very unattractive. It sounds mean to say that, but it's the fucking truth. I just got a message yesterday with a whole full name and a phone number, and she was 68 years old. I ain't gonna say she was ugly, but she wasn't attractive. I've run across some people in their 60s that look pretty goddamn good. She wasn't even in the city, so yeah, getting folks into this get to know you phase. I seen a dating coach that was like, you should know what you're getting into after, 2 or 3 months or some shit like that. And they got different definitions of dating and shit. Like, it just, somebody was like, when is a good time, after dating somebody to break up with them? Is it like 3 or 4 months or some shit like that? I'm like, 3 or 4 months? You just met her. You shouldn't even be in a relationship after 3 or 4 months. What the fuck you talking about? Is that a good time to break up? You shouldn't have been together to start with. That type of shit. And there's people like that out there. And I'm not one of those people. I got to see everything about you before I decide I am going to be with you exclusively. You know what I'm saying? I have to be confident. I've seen most of you, experienced most of you, to where I'm not getting into a relationship and have a whole bunch of new shit just pop up out the goddamn blue that I know I can't deal with. You got to put in the time to get to know somebody for real. And it's going to take more than 2 or 3 goddamn months. Folks, is mood changes is one goddamn. You have mood seasons where somebody just, okay, this year I'm going to be a jerk off. Don't nobody want to be dealing with that. That's just how it is. So that whole getting to know you thing, look, take your fucking time. Take your fucking time. Because you don't know them. People want to skip that old friendship phase when it comes to this shit. Stop doing that. You know somebody, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just getting to talk. Get to the point where you can actually call them a friend, because everybody calls everybody a friend and they not. And then you go to the relationship phase, the long-term phase, where you actually dating somebody exclusively and you don't know this motherfucker. Now you got decisions to make. Because Because you don't want to break up with them. Now you feel like you kind of stuck with them to some degree, most folks. And it's just, you're trying to make the best of a bad situation. It don't matter if y'all dating multiple people at one time. That's what the fuck you supposed to do. It's the dating game. Date multiple people at one time, figure out who's who and all this other stuff. You might be a couple of people where you might have to make some hard choices, whatever, that's life. You know, just stop putting all your eggs in one goddamn broke ass concrete basket. You know what I'm saying? Just I heard somebody else was like, figuring out what you looking for, especially when they come to date multiple people and stuff like that. And everybody's looking for something, you don't want to be messing around with somebody and they just trying to see, you might be filling the placeholder for them and this other stuff, and they dating this other person, trying to figure out. Well, that's the whole point, to figure out what it is you're looking for. Because not everybody you run across needs to be a romantic partner. Some people you meet are going to be your friends, and those are the people that you so-called attach yourself to, that end up breaking up with. The motherfuckers that you got along with and didn't get into a romantic relationship with are the motherfuckers that's usually around 5, 10, 15 years later. They still around. Y'all still talking. The motherfucker that you passed them up with and and hooked up with is out the picture. He got a whole nother person, or she got a whole nother person, probably done had some kids and then broke up and did all kind of other shit. Like I said, take your fucking time. And you have to go through that goddamn process. It's part of it. And you really don't know a person after a couple of months. You just don't. Motherfucker might, you run across somebody you just met. Like I said, you run across somebody, shit, they're an asshole when it's cold outside. They're an asshole when it's hot. But you met them during the off season and you don't know that fucked up part about them or some shit like that. You gotta know certain people's living situation and shit like that. You be one of them people that sit in the house in the wintertime with the AC on and shit instead of the heat or some weird ass shit like that. Or figure out a motherfucker that snore like hell. You know what I'm saying? You run across somebody that like to snuggle all the goddamn time when they sleep and snore like a fucking whale. What then? You got this thing about the bare minimums and stuff like that when it come to sometimes, it could be communications, just activities and shit like that. The bare minimum and what you would expect from somebody. And a lot of times people will say that you'll get that from somebody at the beginning of a relationship, and then, at the beginning of you meeting somebody, because, honeymoon phase type of shit, you know what I'm saying? Will that continue? The bare minimum. And everybody's minimums is different. You got it like my bare minimum if I got people that will speak to me and then I'll speak back and then they won't say shit else. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck was you even speaking to start with? I'm not one of those people that need that constant communication going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? If we're on that kind of level, we use text messages and phone calls to kind of establish when we gonna spend time with each other, and then we do all that shit then. You know what I'm saying? We might talk on the phone. Like I said, it depends on who you are and what the fuck you talking about. If you call me and you just sitting on the goddamn phone for no goddamn reason, I can promise you I'm watching my goddamn TV or playing my game. You just sitting on the phone. I got headphones on. I'm not paying no attention to you. Nah. You can't be somebody. I just got your phone number last week and you for to call me and just sit on the fucking phone and you ain't talking about shit. You ain't did nothing to earn that goddamn kind of goddamn time. I'm sorry. Like, don't be expecting these fucking shit that people like to put in their profiles, what they like to do and all this other shit. Well, that's fine, that all that stuff that you like to do, but I hope you ain't expecting to get none of that shit from my end, because all that shit that you just described is shit that you do to people you married to. You know what I'm saying? That shit you do with people you've been married to or somebody you've been known for many, many years at this point. That ain't some shit that you just out here doing with somebody you just fucking met. As long as you financing the shit, you can do what the fuck you want to do. That don't mean I gotta be there. And folks that know me know that if we dealing with each other on any kind of level, beyond just somebody I just met. I will send you somewhere. I ain't talking about I'm finna send your ass off to Los Angeles for a week and no shit like that. I can't even do that for myself. But that I ain't gotta be there. You know, if it's within my means to do it without, you know, hurting myself in some kind of goddamn way, you ain't getting that from I just met you a couple of months ago. That ain't for the fucking happen. You don't get that part of me. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that part of me. You gotta earn that. You gotta be around for a while, a good while. Not no couple of months either. Want to go do some shit? Would they go along with it, even if it's some shit they not into, which I probably wouldn't ask nobody to. I wouldn't ask nobody to go to an Evans Blue concert that I generally would talk to. You know why? They don't know who the fuck Evans Blue is to start with. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. Do it look like I know who Evans Blue is? No, I don't. So I wouldn't ask nobody that I would generally talk to go to an Evans Blue concert. So will they reciprocate that shit? You know, I ain't gonna even try to say that word for reciprocating, but reciprocating is another word for it. Reciprocating is a bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Reciprocating, and that goes for the whole spectrum of the whole relationship. Reciprocating is a must. If I'm not giving you as much as you giving me, and it don't have to be the same goddamn thing, but it still has to be some back and forth. It has to be some back and forth, and not no sentimental shit either. No, I need some tangible shit. But you know what? You have to be with somebody for a while to get that. You know, to recognize what they're able to give compared to what you're able to give. You know, but it has to be somewhat even. Ain't nothing just perfectly balanced, but it has to fucking be there. But it can't be like no 80-20 shit, no 70-30 shit. You can take that and throw it all the way out the fucking window. So, but in general, that's it. That's dating these days. It's a lot different, at least for me, than when it was when I was in my mid-30s and 20s and shit like that. Hope this was informative. I am fit to go and get ready for football. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next go round.